Hey, this is Daryl, and I want to welcome you to the channel. Always excited to have you joining us. And I have a great conversation planned. I want to talk about approaches for the four, how to get to the four in the key of G flat major. That's the key that we are going to be in for today's conversation. And I'm just coming out of a strategy session with a student by the name of Alex. Alex was working on the song Amazing Grace. And as we were working on that, we started exploring different ways to approach the four. How do you get to the four? So let's say we're in the key of G flat. Once we get to how sweet, that's where we have to get to the four. Now, of course, we're in the key of G flat. So those of you who aren't quite familiar with enharmonics and you're used to that being called a B, technically, when we're in the key of G flat, that would be a C flat because our B in that key is B flat. All right, and there's our C in the key of G flat. So I just want to throw that out there because I know everybody isn't familiar with that concept in harmonics. Not everybody reads music either. So I just wanted to point that out. So that is our four. All right, so how do we get there becomes the question. So we could always just go there. Always just go there, but that's not fun. I want to give you at least three ways from a gospel perspective to approach the four. Now, we could always approach the four, especially in a traditional gospel context, by just turning our major chord, our major one, into its dominant seven. You heard this a lot, especially those of you who are familiar with like some of the early hymn writings. That's used a lot. So that's that chord right there, which is our dominant seven, our G flat seven. That chord leads well into that four chord. Okay, so we could always just approach the four from the one. Another way to approach the four would be to approach the one before you do that. All right. So that's a classic gospel progression, which is we call it a 5-1-4 many times. So that's our first chord. Is our D flat minor 9. Got the D flat, C flat, E flat, E natural, and we got the A flat. So you got that cluster in there. The thing about this chord is you just drop this C flat down to a B flat. So it'll sound like this. And that works okay. So we've got just playing the dominant 7. We've got playing this 5-1-4. So that's another way to do that. And you want to know all of these. Let me give you another one. And this is just maybe on the one, changing that 13 up. So we're playing this G flat 13 here. But listen to this sound. Man, that's sweet. That's a sweet sound. And really, I'm playing the G flat. I got an E natural. And I'm playing the E flat minor chord. So I got a B flat, E flat, G flat. And what I can do is I can roll that D flat to the E flat. So this is getting more into contemporary gospel, but this is a real nice voicing. All right, so we got, see, so sometimes I'll do something like that. So I went from that E flat minor to this D flat minor chord. So right, so let's even build upon this even more. So we have, so you can always, with this chord, the reason why I love this chord is you can utilize those chromatics. So I'm playing that D minor before I play that chord. And chromatics means I'm just going a half step up. D minor, this E minor in my right hand. Let's hear that in the context of the song. How sweet. Okay, that's another one. Let me give you at least one more. So this one is used by a lot of gospel musicians, and it's just using chromatics in another way. So instead of going up, we're gonna do something like this. So here I'm going to do a G flat, B flat, E flat, down to a D minor chord, F, A, D, to this D flat minor chord, E, D flat, E, A flat, D flat. So you got, okay, so, ba, ba, ba. And I can play that over this kind of shell in my left hand. I got a G flat and I got an E. I love that. So you hear that a lot. All right. All right. So now that you know those, what you can do is you can mix it up. So you can do. So that's when we start adding combinations, right? So you can take all the concepts I gave you and just create some nice combinations with those. And those are some of the things that I talked about with Alex. We were just going through ways to combine that. And you can come up with some really creative sounds. So I just gave you a couple ways to get to the 4. You can use that. Just use the straight dominant 7 chord. You can use a 5-1-4 progression. You can use this 13 chord. You can use this 13 chord with chromatics, and chromatics with a grace note, of course. You can use this other chromatic fall, or you can do a combination. And those are all various ways that you can get to the 4, and this is in more of a traditional kind of context. We're playing Amazing Grace, but I think it'd be beneficial. So I hope it was for you. I'm always asked this question, do I do personal trainings? And I love to work with students one-on-one. If you want to get a coaching call, book a strategy session with me, go ahead and text this number 814-464-5854 and ask me about our gospel piano coaching. If you just want a 1-hour session, which most people start with, that session is normally $75, but it's $50 right now. So you can book an hour with me, and in that session we look at where you are. We take a look at what your goals are, and we try to merge those two together. And so it's really a good opportunity for us to connect and talk about how we can create a process that'll help you to get from where you are for you to meet your goals, whether you want to play in church, on stage, or in the studio. Some of you want to schedule out more time. So we also have a special that if you book 3 sessions, which is $150, we'll give you a 4th one free. And so you pretty much get 4 sessions. So that's 4-hour sessions with me for the price of 3. And we do it at that $50 rate. And so instead of paying $200 for 4 sessions, you pay $150. But again, You can do it however you want to. You want to connect with me, I would love to connect with you, love to work through some concepts and help you to meet your goals, strengthen your weaknesses, expose your blind spots so that you can play at your best, whether it's in church, on stage, or in the studio. So thanks so much for tuning into this video. I'll be back with another one. It's Daryl Cook signing off. I'd love to help you meet your goals. Get at me. Text me if you need some coaching. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye now.